I see this misconception so often that if you just had a pump with stronger suction, you'd get more milk. And I need to stop you right there because you can't just suck milk out. In some cases, turning up the suction higher is actually making your output worse. And I know that sounds a little dramatic, but I see this comment question concept every single day. Moms are buying new pumps, turning up the settings all the way up, chasing strongest suction, and still not getting the milk that they need. And here's the part that matters most, okay? This is not your fault. This is pretty much what you've been told, by marketing, to be honest. Things like get a hospital grade pump or look for higher MMHG, turn it up if nothing's coming out. So of course you'd think suction is the problem. And this is how it's marketed. Breast pumps are marketing 300 mmHg and hospital grade suction and all of these things. But low supply or low output when pumping is not a suction problem. It's a skill problem. And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean that in an empowering way because it means there's something that you can fix. So let's walk through the biggest suction mistakes and misconceptions that I see and understand what's really going on instead. There is also a link below to a free course on choosing a breast pump. And even if you've already chosen a breast pump or have one that you like, this is a great free course to walk you through what actually matters on pumps when it comes to suction, cycle speed, suction pattern, and all the things that we're going to talk about today. So it's a really great place to start and it's free. The first mistake I see is thinking that you need a pump with the highest suction. And this is where the MMHG conversation comes in, or that idea that hospital grade automatically means stronger and better. And here's the truth that most people don't realize. Almost every pump on the market already has enough suction. It has been a while since I've tested a pump and said, ooh, that might not have enough suction for most moms. I'm just not seeing that. Suction is not the limiting factor, okay? But suction does matter. If we compare suction, using suction to empty a breast to something like hand expression alone, suction always performs better, okay? There's actual studies saying this, but suction by itself is not what removes milk effectively. Because if it was, you literally just could use a vacuum cleaner that I just pulled out for the thumbnail and call it a day, right? Just suck it out. Obviously, that's not how it works. Milk flow is not just about pulling harder, all right? It's about triggering and managing letdowns and all the different aspects of pumping. And most moms were never taught how to do that with a pump. A pump is also a machine, which we've talked about on this channel before. It will only do what you tell it to do. It's not like a baby who can intuitively get milk to come when it needs more. The pump also doesn't need anything from you, right? So you really have to learn how to control the pump to get it to do what you want to do and how your body best responds to a robot machine, like a pump. The second mistake I see really, really commonly is pumping is not working or my output's low. I need a new pump, all right? And I see this all the time. One pump doesn't work, so you buy another one, and then another one, and then another one. And before you know it, you've got 4, 5, 6 breast pumps. You're $1,000 deep into this, and nothing's really changing. And at that point, you really have to zoom out and ask a better question. Is it actually the pump, or is it how the pump's being used? Because if multiple pumps aren't working, the common denominator isn't the machine. Okay, it's the method. And I say that again, not to blame you, but to show you that that's where the real leverage is. Because buying another pump can feel productive, kind of just like throwing money at a problem. You get a quick dopamine spike from that, and you're like, oh, this is going to be it. But it is usually not solving the root problem, and moms usually continue to struggle. We actually did a video recently on the worst breast pumps that we've seen, that I still see in circulation a little bit, but there's not that many. Really, there's only like a couple pumps that I would tell a mom, yeah, you might actually need a new pump. Other than that, it's usually not the pump. So instead of buying another pump, consider investing in the process of learning to pump more efficiently. There's a good chance, and we see this often with our students, that 4 pumps that don't work suddenly become 4 great options for managing a controlled milk supply. No new pumps required. Okay, we see that really, really often when students dive into the methodology and find the root cause of what's actually not working about the pumping process. And it's almost never the pump. The third mistake, this is a big one, is when milk stops flowing or it's coming too slowly, you turn up the suction. All right, this is probably the most common pattern that I see is you're pumping, milk's coming out, and then it slows down or stops, and your instinct is, I need more suction. I got to suck this milk out harder. So you turn it up, and this is where I see a lot of moms complaining about pain with pumping, pain after pumping. My nipples are sore. Again, everything's tied to all aspects of the proficient pumping pyramid that we teach, so flange sizing definitely matters here. But what's actually happening is not what you think, okay? Turning up the suction when milk stops flowing, it doesn't usually mean that you're empty or you don't have enough suction. It usually means that your body's ready for another letdown. And turning up the suction does not trigger a letdown. In fact, it can do the opposite. If the suction becomes uncomfortable or even just a little too intense, it can actually interfere with your letdown reflex. Your body doesn't respond well when it's in stress or pain. So instead of getting more milk, you get less. It can also constrict the ducts around the nipple and make it actually physically harder for the milk to come out of your body. Even if you do get a letdown, it's kind of stuck there because you've blocked the things with this suction, right? It can also cause swelling and tissue damage, and you can't always see that or know that in the moment. But if there's swelling near the areola and nipple, again, that makes it harder for milk to get out. So more suction can actually cause more problems than it solves. Again, you can suck out a little bit of milk just from suction, but that is not how a breast pump works. It is important, right? Good suction is important, but it's just a piece. And again, too much can cause a problem. Okay, and the fourth misconception, this one really gets my goat, and I see it everywhere, is believing that hospital grade means higher suction or even better output. And this term gets thrown around a lot. It's a heavy marketing term. Companies know this, that you're looking for high or strong or hospital grade suction. All right. And it's just not what makes a good breast pump or helps you manage your supply with it. Anyway, it sounds very official too, and sounds like the solution. We're kind of ingrained to think that hospitals have the best stuff, and that if you have a problem, you go to the hospital. Like that's where all the good equipment is and things like that. But hospital grade actually is not a term that is regulated by the FDA, so literally anybody can say that. And it doesn't mean what most people think it means. Even if you do have a hospital-based pump, let's use the Medela Symphony, for example, this doesn't have any stronger suction than a Spectra. The suction, max suction, is the same, all right? It's not about stronger suction. It often has more to do with the motor quality, design, durability, the multi-user capability. And yes, some of the hospital-based pumps do actually perform really, really well, but they're not magic and they don't have higher suction. The best pump is not always the strongest one. It's the one that you know how to use effectively. So take that term hospital grade suction, hospital strength out of your brain. It literally means nothing. Anybody can say it. And again, all of the pumps I've tested in the last couple years have very similar maximum suction capabilities. So if it's not suction, what actually works is where we're at now, right? And this is where everything starts to shift, because getting milk out with a pump is not about force. It's about flow. And flow comes from a few key things. The first and most important is letdowns. All right, we just did another video talking about letdowns. Most moms I work with are only getting one during a pumping session, or it takes forever, or it's very random. And that means that there's often milk left behind. Your body releases milk in waves, not all at once. So if you're not triggering multiple letdowns, and if you can't do that quickly, intentionally, so you're not spending all day on the pump, you're not accessing all the milk that's there, okay? I have found that low supply issues are more often pumping technique issues, that we're not effectively removing the milk that is already there. And no amount of suction can replace that. The second is how you're using your pump settings, okay? Not just turning it up, but actually understanding how your body responds. Cycle speeds, stimulation mode and expression mode, switching between patterns, even the suction pattern of the pump, these things matter. And they're different for everyone. There's no universal best setting. We've got another video we just did recently on the best settings, how to find your best settings. There's ones that work for you. And sometimes that even changes day to day or session to session. So really understanding your own body here is what's going to move the needle for you. Third is technique, because a pump is not a baby. It doesn't adjust automatically. It doesn't need anything from you. It's a robot and it will do what you tell it to do. It doesn't respond intuitively. You have to guide it. So adding in things like hands-on pumping or adjusting your timing, or we have a lot of other techniques that we teach in our courses, but these are things that can make a real difference in your output. And a lot of moms see a lot of benefit with adding a little bit of a human touch in addition to what their pump can do. And then finally, it's the bigger picture of efficiency. Your schedule, your flange fit, your environment, your stress levels, all of these things play a role. Pumping is not just pressing a button and waiting. It's not just turning up the suction. It's a whole system, and it's a lot more of an art than a science. So this is the line I really want you to take away from this video, okay? It's not about suction. It's about skill with the machine. And this is why buying another pump doesn't usually fix your problem, because the issue isn't that your pump isn't strong enough or that it doesn't have enough suction. It's that no one has shown you how to actually use it in a way that works with your body. If you've been stuck in this cycle, adjusting suction, trying new pumps, wondering why everything's not working, I want you to know there's a better way to approach it. I think that probably the best place to start would be with our free pumping course that walks you through how to actually choose and use a pump effectively, so you're not guessing through this process. And if you're already feeling like pumping just is not working the way it should, and you're just like, skip me to the part where you help me, there's a link to go deeper inside of our full Pumping Efficiently system. But that free course is also a great place to start to help you really understand breast pumps, okay? Because once you understand how that works, everything changes. You stop chasing stronger suction and you start getting more milk with less frustration. If this video helped you, and if you're going to be pumping a lot, make sure you're subscribed, because we talk about pumping all the time. It's literally our whole goal is to help you get more milk in less time. So make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a video. I will put another video up top here for you that breaks down parts of the biggest mistakes with letdowns, because that's usually a big missing piece, way more common than a suction issue. All right, good luck to you and happy pumping.